Hi everyone, I'm Hunter Davidson. Let's look at how Solomon built a temple for Yahuah. King Solomon sent for a servant. It's time to begin building Yahuah's house, he announced. I've given a lot of thought to this project, and now it's time to start. All of Israel knew about this wonderful plan. King David, Solomon's father, had wanted to build a special house for Yahuah, but Yahuah told him, no, David's son, the next king, would build the temple. Now King David was dead, and Solomon had been the king of Israel for 4 years. And he was finally ready to begin building the temple. I want to send a letter to Hiram, the king of Tyre. Solomon said he paced up and down the room. Finally, he said he began to say what he wanted to write to Hiram. You are a good friend of my father David. Solomon began. He was not able to build a temple to honor Yahuah as he wanted to. Now I'm going to do it. Please cut tall cedar trees from your mountain for me. I will send the men to help servants with the work, and I will pay it whatever you ask. King Hiram was pleased to receive Solomon's letter. He sent word that he would indeed provide lumber for the temple, and he promised to send 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, a great artist, to help Solomon's workers. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 knew how to work with gold and silver and bronze and wood. He also knew all about stonework and carpentry. He also could teach about weaving and dyeing beautiful fabrics. It took thousands of people to work on the huge temple project. King Solomon sent 300 men to King Hiram to help cut down the trees and bring them home. 800 other men cut beautiful stone out of the mountainside and shaped them into blocks. When taken to the temple, the blocks fit together like pieces in a puzzle. There was no sound of hammers or axes or any iron tools at the building site. This was one way the workers showed reverence and respect for Yahuah. Solomon's temple was the most beautiful, expensive building ever built on earth at the time. On the inside, the stone walls were completely covered with wood. The wood was decorated with carvings of angels, palm trees, and flowers, and then it was completely covered with gold. Even the floor and the ceiling were covered in gold. Artists carved 2 great angels from olive wood. They overlaid the angels with gold too. The angels were placed in the most set-apart place, where the ark of Yahuah would rest. Their lovely wings stretched across the entire room. All the furniture in the temple was beautiful and carefully made as possible. Israel wanted to honor Yahuah in the very best way. Who can really build Yahuah a worthy home? Solomon asked. Not even the highest heaven can contain him. Our bodies are now this temple, guys, and we're going to discover that everything Solomon went through to follow Yahuah's pattern for his temple. We must go through to prepare this special place for Yahuah to come and live in our bodies. Our bodies are where he wants to dwell in now, but we need to behave the right way if we want to experience him like this. So are you ready to dive deeper into Solomon's temple? Well, here we go. Thank you, everybody.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Behavior Revolution, and we've come to that point in Kings where we're going to be dealing with Solomon's temple. So we thought we'll do a big series all about Solomon's temple and the building and what it means, the structure, all of the compounds used in it, and then when we get to Kings we will have covered it very intensively. So before we get into today's lesson, Mike is here. He's going to take us through the first scriptures, the foundational scriptures of Solomon's temple. Thanks, Mikey.
Hey brothers and sisters, this is really exciting. I can't wait to go through Solomon's temple with you. And this is the text where it comes from in the scripture. 1 Kings 6-7. 480 years after Israel came out of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign as king, in the 2nd month, Solomon started building the temple of Yahuah, which was 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 45 feet high. There was a porch across the 30-foot width of the temple that extended out 15 feet. Within the temple, he made narrow, deep-silled windows, and against the outside walls, he built a supporting structure in which there were smaller rooms. The lower floor was nearly 8 feet wide, the middle floor 9 feet, and the third floor nearly 11 feet. He had projecting ledges built into the outside temple walls to support the adjoining beams. The stone blocks for the building of the temple were all dressed at the quarry so that the building site itself was extremely quiet. No noise from hammers and chisels and other iron tools. The entrance to the ground floor was at the south end of the temple, and the stairs led to the 2nd floor and then to the 3rd. Solomon built and completed the temple, finishing it off with the roof beams and planks of cedar. The supporting structure along the outside walls was attached to the temple with cedar beams, and the rooms in it were nearly 8 feet tall. The word of Yahuah came to Solomon, saying, "About this temple you are building, what's important is that you live the way I've set out for you and do what I tell you, following my instructions carefully and obediently. Then I'll complete in you the promise I made to David your father. I'll personally take up my residence among the Israelites, and I won't desert my people Israel." So Solomon built and completed the temple, paneling the interior walls from the floor to ceiling with cedar planks, and for flooring he used cypress. The 30 feet at the rear of the temple he made into an inner sanctuary, cedar planks from the floor to ceiling, the most set-apart place. The main sanctuary in front was 60 feet long. The entire interior of the temple was cedar, with carvings of fruits and flowers, all cedar so that none of the stone was exposed. The inner sanctuary within the temple was for housing the Ark of the Blood Covenant of Yahuah. This inner sanctuary was a cube, 30 feet each way, all plated with gold. The altar of cedar was also gold-plated. Everywhere you looked, there was pure gold. Gold chains strung in front of the gold-plated inner sanctuary. Gold everywhere. Walls, ceiling, floor, and altar. Dazzling and sparkling. Then Solomon made 2 cherubim, gigantic angel-like figures, from olive wood. Each was 15 feet tall. The outstretched wings of the cherubim, they were identical in size and shape, measured another 15 feet. He placed the cherubim, their wings spread, in the inner sanctuary. The combined wing spread stretched the width of the room. The wing of one cherubim touched one wall, the wing of the other wall, and the wings touched in the middle. The cherubim were gold-plated. Solomon then carved engravings of cherubim, palm trees, and flower blossoms on all the walls of both the inner and the main sanctuary, and all the floors of both inner and outer rooms were gold-plated. He constructed doors of olive wood for the entrance to the inner sanctuary. The lintel and doorposts were 5-sided. The doors were also carved with cherubim, palm trees, and flowers, and then covered with gold leaf. Similarly, he built the entrance to the main sanctuary using olive wood for the doorposts, but these doorposts were 4-sided. The doors were of cypress, split into 2 panels, each panel swinging separately. These also were carved with cherubim, palm trees, and flowers, and painted with finely hammered gold leaf. Solomon built the inner court with 3 courses of dressed stones, topped with a course of plain cedar timbers. The foundation for Yahuah's temple was laid in the 2nd month of the 4th year of Solomon's reign, and it was completed in the 8th month of the 11th year, down to the last detail, just as planned. So it took Solomon 7 years to build the temple. Then it took Solomon another 13 to finish building his own palace complex. He built the palace of the forest of Lebanon, 150 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. There were 4 rows of cedar columns supporting 45 cedar beams, 15 in each row, and then roofed with cedar. Windows in groupings of 3 were set high in the walls on either side. All the doors were rectangular and arranged symmetrically. Solomon built a huge courtyard, 75 feet long and 45 wide. It had a roofed porch at the front with ample eaves. He built a courtroom, the Hall of Justice, where he would decide judicial matters, and paneled it with cedar. He built his personal residence behind the hall on a similar plan. Solomon also built another one, just like it, for Pharaoh's daughter, whom he had married. No expense was spared. Everything here, inside and out, from foundation to roof, was constructed using high-quality stone, accurately cut and shaped and polished. The foundation stones were huge, ranging in size from 12 to 15 feet, and of the very best quality. The finest stone was used above the foundation, shaped to size and trimmed with cedar. The courtyard was enclosed with a wall made of 3 layers of stone and topped with cedar timbers, just like the one in the porch of the temple of Yahuah. King Solomon sent to Tyre and asked Hiram to come. Hiram's mother was a widow from the tribe of Naphtali. His father was a Tyrian and a master worker in bronze. Hiram was a real artist. He could do anything with bronze. He came to King Solomon and did all the bronze work. First, he cast 2 pillars in bronze, each 27 feet tall and 18 feet in circumference. He then cast 2 capitals in bronze to set on the pillars. Each capital was nearly 8 feet high and flared at the top in the shape of a lily. Each capital was dressed with an elaborate filigree of 7 braided chains and a double row of 200 pomegranates, setting the pillars off magnificently. He set the pillars up in the entrance porch to the temple. The pillar to the south he named Jachin, and the pillar to the north Boaz. The capitals were in the shape of lilies. When the pillars were finished, Hiram's next project was to make the sea, an immense round basin of cast metal 15 feet in diameter, nearly 8 feet tall, and 45 feet in circumference. Just under the rim there were 2 bands of decorative gourds, 10 gourds to each 1.5 feet. The gourds were cast in one piece with the sea. The sea was set on 12 bulls, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing east. The bulls faced outwards, supporting the sea on their hindquarters. The sea was 3 inches thick and flared at the rim like a cup or like a lily. It held about 11,500 gallons. Hiram also made 10 washstands of bronze. Each was 6 feet square and nearly 5 feet tall. These artifacts were never weighed. There were far too many. Nobody has any idea how much bronze was used. Solomon was also responsible for all the furniture and accessories in the temple of Yahuah. The golden altar, the golden table of showbread, the pure gold lampstands, 5 to the right and 5 to the left in front of the inner sanctuary, the gold flowers, lamps, and tongs, the pure gold dishes, wick trimmers, sprinkling bowls, ladles, and censers, the gold sockets for the doors of the inner sanctuary, the most set-apart place, used also for the doors of the main sanctuary. And that completed all the work King Solomon did on the temple of Yahuah. He then brought in the items consecrated by his father David, the silver and the gold and the artifacts. He placed them all in the treasury of Yahuah's temple.
Whew. That was a tongue twister, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How'd you go with all that?
A lot of gold.
A lot of gold, mate. There's stacks of gold.
And bronze.
Oh, wow. We're about to find out a lot more.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Check it out. Check it out. Ain't it funky, man?